Welcome back to the Side of Sauce podcast. It's me, your Hispanic goblin host, James, and I'm once again joined by the sexiest bisexual man to ever live. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh, why, thank you, Kanye.
Oh,
It's your boy Johnny.
of course,
Once
of course.
again,
Once again, we're
with the
back here with our
cringe.
we're back here with our daily dose of cringe and bullshit. But that's why you're here. That's why you stick around. Uh, so I got to tell you, I recently.
You're assuming there's people listening.
Yeah, I got 49 subscribers. That is literally almost 50. Of
Damn.
course, people are listening to me. I'm the
Damn,
source of inspiration.
He's
News.
speaking mad facts.
I'm a God's gift to this platform. Everyone worships at my feet. All 49 of them.
By Allah,
but-
he speaks nothing but the Lord's truth.
They what was that fucking image of like Jesus and he said something and all the fucking peasants are like, fuck that guy. They all hated him because he was telling the truth.
'Cause he's truth. Do you remember that time where we were obsessed with saying nothing but by Allah and swearing like the most?
I
Like,
remember. I remember.
We would just say by the Quran, by Allah,
By Allah.
shit like that, like just for no, because we thought it was the funniest thing. Just like, oh no,
There were so
I
many.
ain't gonna lie, it was
stupid-
pretty funny.
There were so many stupid sayings. I remember. I remember doing the OK hand symbol so much from like, I was like, probably like 14 to
remember that.
16. The OK hand symbol. It's that stupid little circular one, and you hold your three little fingers out.
No, I don't remember that.
What's another dumb thing I used to say? There's a bunch. I'm just actually trying to remember them.
He is just like me for real. It's like there's the
Oh,
list is
oof.
too big.
Oof. That was a big one.
Oh,
Oof.
saying oof unironically.
Unironically saying oof, and like yeah, that
I
was.
still do, unfortunately. Like it'll
I-
slip out every now and
Yeah,
then.
every now and again it slips out, but like I'm pretty good about it now. Like when back in the day, I used to say it all the fucking time in text messages. Like
Oh, I still say it like in
constantly.
text messages, but like I just want you to know maybe I haven't evolved as far as
and
you.
I still sometimes say it in text messages if it's like something I don't really care about, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like try to end this conversation quickly. I'll say oof or some shit like that.
It's like how can I make this girl not want to talk to me more?
How
Let me
can I
just
ma-
say oof.
how can I unquench this girl's pussy after watching me play Sonic Adventure 2? How
Hey
in the world?
yo,
How in the world can I do this? This seems like an impossible feat, but then again, there's always a convenient
like-
three-letter word.
Oof.
Oof.
Like you know those Mercy memes from Overwatch 2?
Yeah.
It's just the kid. It's just that with the word oof.
Oof. I love.
Oof.
I love.
I still love the word ooftonium when people say the
Ooftonium?
ooftonium when things are cringe. Oof,
Oh
they'd be
my-
like, that's so cringe, that's ooftonium.
It's ooftonium. I've never heard that ooftonium.
Like, you know, like plutonium.
Yeah.
It's so radioactive, it's so corruptive, it's just
It
ooftonium.
literally corrupts everything it touches. The ooftonium. Oh my god, yes. I love this. This is a good word. I gotta write this down. Ooftonium. Oh my god. But what was I saying? Oh, I got my ears pierced recently. So I got like
Sick.
little beginner ones in right now. Like 'cause, you know, that's just what they give you, I guess. Give you those-
The way you said that, you could have said that sounded a little funny.
Really?
Like, you didn't get your ears pierced, you just got the beginner ears pierced.
Yeah, I got the beginner set, you know. I'm leveling
Oh,
up.
you're talking about the earrings.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about. I don't know why I thought you were talking about the earring size. I was like, my guy.
the
They
size.
usually start at one
you,
size.
You fucking
I was
evolve
like-
when you go through it. I'm leveling up my ear holes. But like, I got them pierced recently, and it was I went to downtown and
Okay.
on like a Saturday. No wait, what the fuck was it? It was a Wednesday because that's when I'm off. I went there on like a Wednesday because I was like I want to go get my ears pierced, and me and Sandra we went out and we went looking,
Yeah, why not?
and
Mhm.
we found we went to like 4 different places, and all of them were either and all of them just like they didn't have like their ear piercer like person there, like they were all just gone,
Yeah.
missing, out
Bruh,
for a week
it's
or
the same
on
ear
lunch.
piercer.
Yeah.
It's the same ear piercer, just working at different jobs.
He's working 4 different jobs. He's just out there running around. I have to get to the next one. I have to get to the fucking next one. You know? And like so eventually we just went home and I was like, fuck it, I'll do it later. And then like the next day, Thursday, I was at work and I was like, you know what? I'll try after work because I just want to. I just want to get it over with.
Yeah.
And I went
Why
to
not?
like 2 places and both of them were closed. But then finally I went to the last one. I was like, if I don't get this one, I'm just gonna fucking whatever. And then I got to this place and they're like, oh yeah, we can do it today. We got you. And the lady sat me down in the
Usually
chair.
it's usually a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of places usually will just take walk-ins. Yeah.
Thankfully. And like the lady sat me down in the chair and she was like, you have really nice fucking hair. And that is exactly what she said. And she was
Thanks,
like, and she was like stroking my hair, and I was like, "Thank you." I feel slightly uncomfortable, but thank you. And
You feel like you're like a pet. You're like, I'm getting a pet. Yeah, someone's patting my head.
I'm like a dog. Oh yeah. But
You like Drifter, but for real.
Drifter for real. And anyone doesn't know the lore of this podcast, Drifter is my wildly racist, homophobic dog that we keep around because he's cute. But
He is very cute.
yeah,
And very racist
very
dog.
terroristic person. But we
He's a domestic terrorist at heart.
honestly, just like me for what? But but fuck,
Don't
what
get
was
too goofy now. Don't get too
whoa,
goofy.
whoa. But the lady was like, "All right, I'm gonna put this first ear piercing in, and just stay still and try to relax. It's gonna hurt, but the second one's gonna be better." So she put the first one in, and that hurt so fucking bad, my guy. I was in
I
so
believe
much
it.
pain, but I sat there looking at the mirror just straight on. Didn't
You're
make
like,
a
yeah,
move.
I can't make a face.
Didn't make a face. Didn't make a sound. Didn't make a movement. And she was like, "Wow, you did so great." And it felt like my ear was just being fucking stabbed. I was in so much pain. She's like, "How do you feel?" And I was like, "Good."
Agony.
But in reality, I'm in like one of the worst pains I've ever felt.
Man's like a Maroon 5 song.
And then she was like,
in misery.
and then she was like, all right, you beat the hardest part, and now we're gonna get on to the easy part." And I made the mistake of believing her and trusting her.
She was capping, wasn't
She was
she?
lying to my ass. She was a devious monster because she put the second
what
one in
did
it,
she
and it
do?
was like 100 times worse. It felt like someone was like grabbing my ear and trying to rip it off. I was in
See,
so
my
much
experience was I was in my bathroom and I was like, "Fuck it, I feel like piercing my ears." So I used a big sewing needle hat, and it was way too big to be a ear piercing needle,
Oh,
not
wow.
sharp. And I got my girlfriend at the time to pierce my ears with it, and then it hurt like a motherfucker, surprisingly, because it was about as dull as a goddamn like unsharpened pencil. Like when you get a new number 11 pencil, that's about how sharp it was, bro.
pain. Yeah.
This is just poking through my ear. It was like ah,
Oh my god.
it was bad.
You really got to push that thing through too.
Yeah, it was not my brightest move, but I mean,
Hey.
I'm probably looking back at it worse than it was. I don't know if it was that bad, but it hurt a lot.
We all make bad decisions. I've made plenty of mine.
He is just like me for
We've
real.
all made bad decisions before. But you know what? Recently it's been fucking poor transition, but it was recently Halloween, and I feel worse because Halloween is over.
I really feel that
Because I don't know if it's just me that feels this, but
the Halloween postpartum depression.
everyone I know fucking hates Christmas. Because like it's this weird time where people when I compare it to like the time before Halloween, the time of like the beginning of fall to like Halloween, and then like November 1st to like January 1st. The October Halloween part, that's like real genuine happiness. That's like the beginning of sweater weather. We're all planning Halloween parties. We're all gonna
All the
have
cute
fun.
stuff.
Yeah, it's like cool shit. And then afterwards, it's like, holy fuck, I gotta prepare for 2 big fucking meals. I gotta get people presents. Holy shit. And it's like these people having like these not fake happiness, but like kind of putting on a show. I feel like
Well, I mean, you can look at it that way. I think that's truly toxic. It's your perspective as
it
that.
might be, but it's also probably because I'm tainted by it because I work retail.
Yes, I was gonna say it's the fact that you work retail and you have this huge portion of you just hates it because it's shoveled down your throat
You know
every
what?
day.
I'm
This
surprised.
faux joy.
I'm surprised because I have not heard Mariah Carey singing once in my store. Yet.
That's a miracle. You're right.
I know, right? That's
I know
so...
they've started playing Christmas stuff on my store a little
Because
bit.
you
just
worked
like-
retail during Christmas, right?
I worked retail, brother.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
worked during several Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a nightmare. It is so crazy how it feels like people forget that like retail workers are like people, And they just like
I really agree. People like it's the separation. It's the effect of the internet where like you don't really associate the other person you're talking to with a person. It's people doing that because like people they treat each other like shit for no reason.
during what's supposed to be the most festive, amazing time of the year.
I think that just comes into logistics, honestly. I think so. I think I'm kind of unpessimistic. I guess I'm optimistic, but I'm also very practical. So like the reason I think the holidays are so stressful is because everybody's stressed because everybody has family coming around, everybody's in the same boat as you, and people are just out more and more. So by therefore, it makes it more stressful because you're seeing more people. I don't think the holidays are that stressful this year. I think it's the fact that we just all at the same time are like, oh shit, I
Yeah,
forgot to get gifts all year.
that's so true. I think actually, no, yeah, yeah, you know what? You
Like,
spit
do you think
facts.
like you can't think that someone else like you, or you might think that like God damn, I haven't been saving gifts up all year or whatever, but you're the majority of people. Most people ain't be like that.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Like I have not gotten a single gift for a single
I
person
have
except
gotten.
for
I'm trying to think.
one
Who am I?
person.
I think I've gotten gifts for. Well, not all of their gifts, but like I'm thinking like I got gifts for like 3 people so far.
I mean, you've started though.
Yeah,
Some people don't
exactly.
start until later.
Some people start at like the last week, and it is shocking. It is shocking how many people do it. And
Dog, this
immaculate.
year is gonna be hard.
Oh my god.
I think it's just that honestly, I think another thing for why it's so stressful right now is it's just at least for us, it's just a stressful time,
Yeah,
socially, economically, especially. It just really
economically.
is.
Speaking of
Jesus Christ,
speaking of economics, I don't know if you like give a shit all that much, but have you
I
heard about
have to
what's
at this point.
yeah, but have you heard what's going on with Twitter?
Yes, it is insane.
The whole Elon Musk buying it and the $8 to become verified thing.
Which is funny. I'm surprised. Like I'm surprised when I heard about it, but I was like, it makes sense though. It was like, I should have seen this coming.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel weird about it because like I see what he's trying to do, but he's doing just the worst fucking job imaginable about it.
He probably is doing a pretty bad job. I don't follow it very well. The only reason I have Twitter is so I can read the patch notes for Destiny 2.
I go on there to
So
see dumb bullshit. I love
I go
whatever
in there, you're like, all
memes.
right, how did they buff the assault rifles this week? Let me see. Oh,
People post just the
0.2%.
people post like the
But
worst shit to like Twitter, and that's what I love. It's just a bunch of
people
like
do.
the worst memes imaginable, and I love it.
What I see happening, at least, or I hope, if I'm optimistic in this, is I see, it is pretty awkward right now and weird, and people are not going to like it. But I think what it's going to do is I think it's going to get rid of a lot of the stigmas around the way, because everybody posts and makes jokes all the time and says stuff on social media that people would get stigmatized for. That you can't make jokes about this topic or that topic, but people do it all the time. I hope, if anything, it'll just make people more transparent about the fact that everybody says stupid shit,
Yeah.
and people will just get beyond that.
Also, I don't know if I've ever admitted this to like anyone, but I genuinely don't find Elon Musk that interesting of a person.
Yeah, he's interesting as far as like people go, but it's like
Eh,
he's not like, yeah, he's definitely more successful than me. Like he's an interesting person,
he's
but
more
like
interesting in the sense of like, wow, you've made it this far. Like what's your business and like all that. He's not necessarily
people
interesting as in
hold him on
like
a
a.
pedestal. Yeah,
He's not necessarily interesting as like a person. Like I would sit down and talk to you. Like, hey, what do you think of Destiny 2?
I mean, honestly, given the option, I would totally sit down if I could meet someone famous like that and talk to them. Someone interesting. I'm sure he's smart, but it's the image. I don't like the image per se that's put around it. I'm sure he does it to promote his business and himself,
Yeah,
but
like people who
it
gravel at
is
his
very
feet.
fictitious.
It's a weird thing in general. I don't like the whole like celebrity culture where people like
I
gravel at
agree.
people's feet because it's like
Because
at the end of
people
the
do
day they're
things
just
worse
humans.
and just as bad. Yeah, exactly. They're no different from you or I. It's not like Mariah Carey singing, a nice song or whatever, or Michael Jackson doing a dance or whatever. It's gonna change the fact that they're another person and they do good and bad all the time. Like
Hmm.
that's not to judge the character, but just because someone's famous or successful does not make them good.
Yeah,
It's
I
not. They don't go hand in hand.
yeah.
They can, but they don't have to.
I mean yeah. In fact, most famous people are actually probably are 99% likely. Most of them are like shitty people.
I wonder. I hear that all the time, and I honestly, it makes sense. But that's the kind of thing I hear. I could see where, like, honestly, it's more like the people around them, and it's just most successful people are more puppet heads than anything. Like, for
I
instance,
think a
like, it's
lot of
like
them.
you have a brand you got to sell, right?
Yeah,
So if you're selling a brand as like a musician or whatever, a lot of your decisions aren't going to be made necessarily, or your Twitter posts aren't going to be made off what you want to say per se, or it's on promoting your album and promoting maybe things that you think are good looking for you to like or stuff like that. So it's not that they're even worse, I wouldn't say, but yeah, sorry, I'm not going to get a tangent.
yeah. Because I commonly think of like the example of like recently Kanye West, where he was. I don't know.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Maybe it's because I didn't really pay attention to him all that much, but he seemed like a normal person. Like he seemed like
He's become unhinged lately ever since the divorce. He's always been one of those very eccentric, weird dudes, and it's like you either like
yeah,
him or
he's
you
been
don't.
like he's been weird, but he wasn't like in like 2018 like going on this weird tangent about like being anti-Semitic.
You know about his school though and everything, right? So like
I don't
Donda
actually, no.
University.
I don't.
So that's the name of his mom apparently, named after his mom, Donda
Yeah.
University. It's a thing he has, a school. It's one of his. I think it's one of his albums too, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, Donda.
Um, so it's supposed to be an influential name, but it's the school he has K through 12. That it's a private school he runs. The problem is, it's really not a school. It's just like an unaccredited daycare, more or less, because you're not going to get any accredited hours for anything you do there. You're not getting a transcript. So and none of the teachers are actual teachers. But it's this whole thing he runs because it's like, it's his mind. He has this idea of what he wants to be, this enlightening arts school or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's what he thinks it's like it is that, it's important. But like the dude's been doing this for, I think, 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly he's been a little whack for a while.
He's been a little bit unhinged.
Yeah.
You know what else I've been thinking about?
Hmm.
I've been thinking about like, so do you have like outfits that you wear that are like,
Oh yeah.
when you wear them outside, shut up. When you wear them outside, you get like complimented a lot.
Oh yeah.
Cause like I've been thinking about that recently because I've been wearing like this specific shirt. It's this like Sonic 3 and Knuckles shirt. And yeah, that's exactly what I thought. When I wore it out, and I was like, whatever, I'll wear it.
No, but I was picturing, that Mario and Sonic is like their parents, like the shit post thing.
Oh my
It shows Mario and Sonic. I was thinking of that, but with Knuckles and Sonic instead. That's immediately what I thought of, bro.
That would be interesting, and I would totally wear that shirt. By the way,
Oh man, that would be true art then.
But I wear that shirt out like quite frequently because I've just gotten to the point where I don't care and I'll just wear whatever, and it is like actually probably the shirt I get complimented on the most. It's at least up there. It's like in the top 3 at least. But then I will
What
be
is it,
honest. I will be honest. It is basically all men.
They think it's funny, yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, who cares?
Exactly.
Oh, a W's a W.
A W is a W. A battle royale victory is a battle royale victory.
Do you
as some
have
kids
shirts
might
and stuff and clothes that you never really truly intend on wearing?
I do honestly, and I kind of need to get over that habit, and I just need to get rid of like a lot of clothes I have.
No, because I have a ton of shirts that have like really edgy graphics or profanity on the front. They're like, it's hilarious, but like, I really can't wear it anywhere.
Yeah, I've been
Like-
thinking about getting dumb shirts like that too, but I've also like the shirt like I love hot milfs or like I love hot moms.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about getting that shirt and just wearing it out in public because like why not? Because it's funny. Or like other dumb
is
funny
funny.
shirts. Because like it's just that yeah, I'm just at that point where it's like fuck it, I want to wear something stupid, I want to wear something goofy, I want to wear something that's like I would walk by someone and they would laugh. That would make me feel awesome, you know? Not laugh at me, but like laugh at what
just
I'm
have a rendition, like a really offensive rendition of like a historically bad, like 9/11 or something. The Trail of Tears, something really upsetting. Just make it like a meme out of
something
it.
really upsetting.
Just put it and make it on the shirt and just like, have big letters and be like, "Get over it." Be like,
Get
oh,
over
this will piss people off.
the Queen's death.
Yeah, the Queen's death.
It's that one screenshot of Megamind where he goes, "There is no Queen of England," and it's just zoomed in on his face.
There are no balls,
No
scratchers.
So, because it's been Halloween recently, and I brought that up,
Yes.
like over like a fucking while ago, I wanted to go over some things. So, when you get handed like, I don't know how long it's been since you've trick or treated. Like, I haven't
a
trick or
couple
treated.
years.
Like,
I just handed candy out this past Halloween.
yeah, I haven't trick or treated in like years, but like. Do you remember when you go trick or treating and there was like those certain specific candies that like you just didn't fucking want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like they're just not very yummy, or they're just kind of like lame,
So
or
what
boring, and
candies?
not cool.
What
whatever.
candies were you like? Fuck this shit! I fucking hate this house. All they give me is fucking
See,
apples.
the way it always was in our house was it wasn't based off that. It was based off the the economical value. So
economical
it was
value.
more you would decide what you wanted, and then you would trade for more of those from other people. So, like for instance, my sister liked Three Musketeer bars and Kit Kats, and she would just try and trade for those.
Yeah.
I wanted Starburst. That was my favorite as a kid. I always wanted to trade for that, and I'd trade things like pretty much anything for a Starburst. But the ones that I didn't like, usually were the lollipops. I hated the Dumbo, or what are they?
Yeah.
What are those lollipops? The Dum Dum lollipops. I hate those. They're so tiny, and they're just kind of, the flavors are all meh. They
Yeah.
taste pretty much the same.
I can see that. What, most of the candy that I like, I don't really fuck with, especially Halloween candy, is like those little chocolate bars. I don't know. I'm not really the biggest fan
Depends on
of
the
like.
chocolate bar.
To be
Chocolate
honest
on
with
its
you,
own.
I'm like the only chocolate bars that I'll really eat from like Halloween candy is like Three Musketeers and like regular Hershey's, or and Kit Kats
Yeah.
technically, because I think those count.
Yeah.
But other than
Yeah.
that, I don't really like most of them. I don't. To me, when I think
I
of
like
like
Crunch
candy,
bars.
oh yeah, Crunch Bar. I forgot about that. Those are good too. But like the candy I love the most is like gummies. I fucking love gummies
Yeah.
candies.
I think that must be a thing, because I was talking with my dad about this a while ago. When he was talking, I was like, yeah, when I was like, it's just different. It was more chocolatey things now, but now it's people like, and they just hand out more like the candy ones. When I think of candy, I think of like gummies or like fruit flavored things.
I think of like gummy bears or those Krabby Patty gummies that they would have.
Or September 11th. I mean what?
The gummy September 11th.
Just two little gummy bears.
It's a little. You know how the fruit snacks, when you buy fruit snacks, they all have like little different images on them. It's just different tragedies throughout history. You get your little strawberry, fucking twin towers. You get your little blueberry trail of tears.
He is just not like me for real.
Some amazing concepts we come over here.
Beautiful art, indeed.
Beautiful, honestly. Yeah. I recently went to a Halloween party, and I got really drunk at the Halloween party.
God, Mans is just like me for real.
And I wanted to share a little story because like I kind of only vaguely remember doing this, but it's on camera, so I apparently did it. Where
What did you do?
I was with this other person, and I was just so out of it. I don't remember how I did it or how it started, but we started like acting like gorillas. We started just like being
Started
fucking
evolving.
we started being stupid about it and like pounding our chest and like running around with it. And then like eventually, I remember they gave me like macaroni, like baked macaroni, and I like gorilla grabbed that shit and just like threw it at my face.
It's like, just why? Why? I want to know what's.
I don't know. I was drunk. I can't.
Like, what random thing, just combination of interactions made your brain go? You're like, I know the perfect way.
And
to counter
I
the
watched
mood
the video
in the
again, and
room.
I should probably send it to you after the podcast
You
because like
should.
there was like there was no like thinking about this. There was no like, hey, should we not do this? It was just like an
It was
instant
like,
like,
yes.
all right, grab it, go.
Monkey.
Monkey time.
Monkey time.
I swear I'm devolving as I grow older.
No, evolving.
Exactly. Dude, what is the
De-escalation, more like de-evolution. Wait, what were you saying?
what is the I also have it here. What is the best Halloween costume you've ever like worn or made?
The one I've ever made. I don't know, honestly. Probably one of the ones I made when I was younger. My dad used to go all out with me. We'd make Halloween costumes and stuff. So I remember there was this really god awful Halloween or this god awful show that I wanted to be from Halloween. It was called like Planet Heroes, and it was just one of those like more
Planet
third party
Hero?
off brand Planet Heroes, and they're like franchises. Yeah, so it's one of those like ones where it's like an off brand type on brand thing, you know. It's not. It's like some kid show, but it's not like Dora the Explorer.
Did he look like Captain Planet?
I don't think so. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know why. That's the first person I thought of when you said Captain Planet or Hero.
No,
or
it was
something.
like there was a little alien from each of the planets, and they had like a very stereotypical
Ew.
personality. Like this one was like the one from Neptune was all funky looking, and like was a fluid. The
So-
one from Venus was
so
on
what you're telling
fire.
me-
The one.
Is that this TV show that you were watching was racist? against aliens.
Pretty much. Is
It was
alien
a
speciesist,
racist
yeah.
alien TV show propaganda.
But anyways, I wanted to be one of the characters, the character from Pluto. So we took apart this old costume and we put this whole thing together and set up this costume. It was pretty cool. But that's probably the best one I've ever made. But the best one I've ever seen, I've seen some of those really cool ones at Comic Cons where like people have the stilts they're on.
Hmm.
That's always cool.
I love the Halloween season too because like you mentioned it with you and your dad. I made me think of like I love the Halloween season because my dad always goes all out for Halloween. I don't know if this is like
Mhm.
specifically a dad thing, but like my dad like goes all out. One of my first memories as like a young child, a young little boy, is helping my dad create like this Halloween crate that he still has, and it's like a box that says "keep out," and like the lid
Mhm.
will like shake, and it will like make howling noises, and it's so fucking cool.
Dude, on two things off tangent. One, just you that reminded me. I remember one Halloween a long time ago. I got this Happy Meal and it was a little coffin and it said "RIP" on the front,
Yeah.
like R.I.P. And my dumbass as a kid thought it meant there was a toy inside of it. I thought there was like a little zombie or something there. So
Yeah.
I was convinced I had to rip this thing open and open it up. I tried to tell my mom this. She wasn't having it. She was like, "No, R.I.P. stands for RIP." I'm telling you, Johnny. Like I was like 3. It's like, dude, this doesn't do that. But she took the toy because she didn't want to break the toy.
Yeah, this
So
is
later
a
that
big
day,
brain idea, honestly.
I snuck out in there. I grabbed the toy and I ripped it in half, and it broke.
Where's the fucking
Funnily
toy?
It broke the top off. But what was I gonna say? My Wi-Fi just cut out.
No, you're still good. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought it cut out. Oh, and the other thing I was gonna say is, see, you have those memories, but that has nothing to do with Halloween. Think about the same people that have that for Christmas with their nana or their uncle or their friends or whatever. That's why people get hyped at Christmas, and then
You know what?
corporates just get.
I'm
cringy
officially
about it.
changing my career path.
See, like
I'm
I
officially
used to
changing
hate
it
Christmas.
from
I
like
used to
whatever
hate it,
whatever I
bro.
was doing. I will now become a professional Grinch after hearing what you just said. I will bring misery and chaos to every person who enjoys Christmas, specifically just
For
to be a menace, just to fuck with them.
He is just like
This
me.
is
See,
not
I used to hate Christmas so much too. I got into that I was like, fuck this shit, and then I realized I was
Yeah.
like, nah, man, like it's
Well-
just an excuse for people to put like, it's just a
it's just
vessel for
it's
people
just
to like
it's just a
connect.
good old jolly excuse for people to like love each other and give them hams and like
And
presents.
oh yeah, people are gonna exactly, and corporations and people take advantage of it. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's got its good, whatever. It's solstice
So
vibes.
speaking of like Halloween memories, I wanted to ask you something
oh no.
a little bit more intriguing question than we kind of discussed here. So,
Okay.
Usually around the Halloween season or the Halloween time, I like to go back and like watch old I guess documentaries is the right thing to say. So like
Okay.
old videos about like the paranormal or the mysterious or the
Oh,
or
yeah.
the strange. So I gotta ask you, do you believe in anything paranormal, like ghosts or freaky shit like that?
That's a very loaded question.
Exactly. That's why I saved it for a little bit later.
Well, I think it's complicated. You know what people say there's a difference between knowing, there's a difference between like believing.
Yeah.
Kind of feel like the gray line for me is too faint. So like for instance, like I'd say like if you're gonna ask me like, am I religious? I can't really give you an answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like part of me does, part of me doesn't. It's the same thing. I don't believe in all like a lot of the goofy stuff you see all the time, all the goofy urban legends and ghost stories and crap you see that people like set up. But it would not surprise me if there's like more to life that we can't explain. Like if there was an afterlife or something, some way that our essence, our energy stayed, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But
The-
no, I wouldn't say like if you were to ask, am I a believer or non-believer of like ghosts? I'd probably say non-believer.
Yeah.
as lame as
Ghosts
that
or
is.
like even I'm more of a cryptid person. I like
I love cryptids.
I love talking about them. There's a
I'm
I
more of a
don't-
true crime person, but I feel that.
for me it's like it's more along the lines of like I don't know if like because my dad gives me a lot of like Bigfoot stuff because like I think it's kind of fun to talk about it, but I do
It
genuinely
is
yeah,
fun.
it is fun to talk about it, but I do kind of, especially that first video, the old timey video, it's kind of
Oh, the Patterson Gimlin film.
yeah, the Robert Pattinson video that like was first captured, that famous one. Uh,
Mhm.
I have two parts of my head that like talk about that consistently. Like it's something that I think about at least once every 2 weeks. Where like that
I'll
video
think about that all the
is
time.
what?
I think about that like that all the stuff like that all the time. I feel
Yeah,
that.
I'll like think about it and I'm like, no there's a lot of things in that video that are like extremely convincing if it's a fake. You know? Like
Exactly. It's like
the way the muscles move, the way the fur kind of like naturally has a pattern. There's no clear way a zipper would go on, or like a mask separating from like a face, or like anything for costumes, especially during that time period. It is very interesting to think about and talk and discuss about. But do I necessarily believe it? Um, I'm I'm really torn about it because in one part of my brain is like, there's so much evidence here. Why wouldn't I? And then there's another part of my brain where it's like, I don't know. It's still kind of a leap in logic.
it's like if you show me a gun, if you have a real gun and you point it in my face and you go through all the steps and you show me it's unloaded, don't worry, there's nothing in it, and you put it in my face and you try and mug me with it, I'm still gonna freak out.
To
You know?
me, yeah, and to me, it's more of just
I'm,
like a fun experiment and like thing to talk about. It's not something I necessarily kind of believe in. Like if you
it's
held a gun up to my head and told me to make an answer right now, I'd probably say I don't believe. But
you
especially,
know what people
yeah,
like the thing is I feel like it's also like the thing where people talk about like there's no atheists in foxholes.
yeah,
All the phrase. It's like I feel like at least for me that is pretty true. It's like when I'm in my better days, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't believe any of that. But like if I'm scared or whatever, like I could see like dude, a part of you starts to believe or something, or a part of you almost is like afraid, like what if? So I could see how it, but yeah, it's hard. I don't know what to give, man. Like I feel like no, but I feel like you, yeah.
because
Ugh.
it's just like a bunch of like a really interesting evidence to think about, and well, that is like the main cryptid. Whenever that's like the mascot cryptid that everyone thinks about. Like most others are like,
Bigfoot.
yeah, most of them like other ones are like, no, they're not real. They're just not. I think they're cool. I think they're fun folklore, but like most of them, no. However, I do. This might be a tinfoil hat. This might be crazy moment. There is like two, well, really one in particular that I kind of do believe in, and that would specifically be
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily in the way that we kind of imagine it or think about it. But the Wendigo.
Who's to say mental disorders? I was literally thinking about this today. Mental disorders. Like you ever heard of a medical lycanthropy?
Yeah, where people
So
think
like
they're
it's where
like a wolf or like a werewolf.
exactly. So tell me this: like if I'm going through a thing, or whatever, and I believe that I have to kill these people in my camp and eat them to survive because I've got Wendigo psychosis or whatever,
Yeah,
and I do that, and I've lost a bit of humanity and I lose my mind, like yeah, sure, I'm not mutating into the 21st century version with the horns in my head, but for all intents and purposes, isn't like that kind of
as someone who's
like
part Native American and has heard a couple stories
same?
from like people, yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say yeah, that is a real thing. It is true. It's not
Like
the way that
when
most
people
people think about it, but like
exactly.
it is a real
But
thing.
that's the way culture does that. It warps our perceptive. There are some like things that we just like look at, we take for granted that even if we acknowledge that they're not real, but we still act as if they do, whatever,
Yeah,
or we like yeah, just because it's not like all smoke and mirrors and all this crazy stuff doesn't mean something can't be real in another sense, in a cultural sense. The story gets passed down from years to years, and if it inspires someone to do something, isn't that also kind of creating something?
yeah, and like, but yeah, most other ones that like I think about, like the Mothman or like the Chupacabra or what are some other the Loch Ness monster. That one is 100% fake. That is yeah.
Well, Loch Monster is cap, yeah,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It was
As cool as it would be,
yeah.
it's
I think the Mothman one is actually kind of like a really interesting one to think about as well. If you like learn about
see,
the
I look at that and I go and I think something is there.
I
I
think
don't know
something
if
yeah,
it's
something definitely was off but I don't specifically think it's like a giant 6-foot black Mothman.
Well, even then, like if you look at the reports, it should be Birdman if anything, because people talk about it looking like a bird technically.
Yeah.
But like, if like I totally believe something went down there. It's just I don't know if it was a MK Ultra experiment, if it was mass hysteria, if it was
I think it's
people pulling pranks. And
I think it's a little bit of the mass hysteria, and then like, to be honest with you, I've heard, I think about it a lot, and I watched some documentaries about it. I watched some videos about it, and like the ones that make the most sense to me, at least, about like what happened all those years ago, are like government technology or experiments. Not necessarily
my
like a
dad
creature.
has this crazy idea, and I thought it was batshit and crazy when he told me it at first, and I was like, "That's stupid as hell." So he was talking about you know what the not the Gettysville, what are they called? The Somethingville Goblins. It's the story of these little literally it's like just like green men supposedly coming and attacking a house. You know, it's like this classic
Oh,
cryptid story you hear,
yeah.
and
Isn't
you're
it
like,
the one where
"That's
he's like he's
ridiculous."
shooting at the wall, or he shoots
Exactly.
them and they don't like, it looks like they haven't taken any damage.
Yeah. My dad was talking about these, like, a lot of it sounds more like these people are just like, if you just, he's like, it doesn't, this isn't probably what it is, but it's like, you could technically achieve similar results if people were drugged up enough and you just were doing you were practicing some drone experiment or balloon
'Cause
experiment next to them.
I don't believe
It,
yeah, because I don't believe that
it
guy.
wouldn't be hard to convince people of that stuff.
Because I don't believe
No?
that guy who told that story about like the little aliens and the
Bob
people who
Gillen.
seen Mothman or whatever you want to call him. Like, I don't believe those people are lying, because a lot of them are like embarrassed, and also like their lives are just objectively worse off when they tell it.
Well, it's exactly like people get flamed for that shit. You don't get like made into a hero for coming out about that stuff, but I think more importantly, it's real for the people there. Like again,
like
like when people talk about when you watch a horror movie, it's even if you get scared, you're never going to be as scared as the person who would truly be in that scene, right?
yeah,
You're not there. You can think about it as much as you want, but you're really not going to get in that shoes of like this is how utterly terrifying. Like I'm sure you've been in a couple situations where something is bad and it's different, like so like but when you are stressed out or scared like that, it's easy to see things and for shit to just go, like you see something and you freak out and the first thing that comes to mind is what you see.
hmm
It's happened to me before.
yeah, where
Sure, it's
people
happened to you. Like it's because you're in the moment, and it's not that someone's making something up. It's that you really believe some shit just went down or whatever. You saw something. You're terrified, and maybe you're confused or you're not explaining it. Like right now, I'm really tired, and like I could tell I'm like rambling. And there's a lot of things I'm saying like, oh, that doesn't sound right. Oh,
Yeah,
that doesn't
yeah.
sound convincing. But like I could imagine if you see a big traumatic event or something goes down, you're gonna feel the same way, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've definitely had like, I've probably seen like, it's an experience that I've experienced. I haven't really talked about it a lot, but like I used to believe is like a long time when I saw something in like the woods, which was probably like either like a dog or like some like stray wolf. I saw like a
hmm
I saw like a beast in the woods, and I got fucking terrified,
did
and
too.
I never spoke about it to like anyone, except for like a few people. And like the more
And
I think
that's
about
the
it now,
thing.
it's like I probably just saw like a big dog, you know?
But you're looking back, and how do you know? I
Yeah,
remember because we used remember the woods we used to live by at the end of that cul-de-sac of my house.
yeah.
There was a couple times towards the end where we would hear weird noises in the woods, and one day I saw this massive, look like a stray dog come out or something, and I was like, I just went inside, like I almost didn't want to look at it. I was like, what the heck is that? And I was like, I'm sure it was a dog or something stray, but like at the same time,
But at the same time,
imagine
yeah,
if
your
that's
mind plays tricks on you all the time.
it doesn't. I don't think rationally in the moment. I was absolutely terrified. It was late outside. It was night. So like it was just the shadows. I see it run off into the woods. I about shit myself. Like I was like, dog. Like yeah, no. But the other thing, like, if you're, what's it called? God. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm so tired. I'm losing my train of thought. Keep saying what you're saying. I'm sorry, man.
But yeah, like, yeah, it's just that, and like I think the mind plays tricks on you, and like it's so easy for you to be fooled by yourself, honestly, just by little things in life. Like even like thinking about it, like your brain doesn't technically. I know it was like some study, like your brain technically doesn't like look at the world.
Retain a lot of information. Yeah.
Yeah, your brain doesn't technically look at the world the right way. It's technically like through a filter. I'm not a scientist, but it's like technically through like a filter, and if you were to like take that filter off, the world technically looks like a little different from how we're like looking at it. But
Perspective.
yeah, perspective.
Well, think about yeah, like you're living from a certain narrative perspective. You're looking at it that way. But like if you or me went and say this episode, everybody listens to this episode and they freak out, like, oh my god, there's a dog thing in C.
Hmm.
We don't have to say anything. One person's experience can influence an entire city or area or group of listeners or whatever into thinking something like that. And that's how legends get born. Like it's not these people who were idiots back in the day, it's that they genuinely had these terrifying experiences, and it's how people like use it to communicate.
That's how I think like the werewolf was born, because it was like a European folklore.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty
Have you
sure what they
heard
experienced was
of
like
all
those
the-
giant
Mhm.
those giant wolves that they used to have.
They had that. They had a big culling in France in the, I believe it was the 1600s, where there's a huge famine and a ton, these massive packs of wolves ripped across and just did a lot of damage in some of the towns. But there are other cases of, if you look up pretty much, this sounds super stupid. If you look up pretty much any random Russian or like Eastern European town and you look up the werewolf of and you insert town, you'll find some horrible happenings that happened back in the 1800s or 1900s where someone went around and they did some like serial killing shit, and they'll
Yeah.
get dubbed with those names. But if you get named something like that, say 500 years ago, is the information that the person was just a regular dude that did some jacked up stuff going to get carried down? Not necessarily. Like the myth becomes a reality to people. They talk about it as if it's real until it becomes real.
The most popular one, I think, is probably I'm pretty sure you heard of it, the Beast of Bray Road.
Beast of Bray Road. I'm about to look it up real quick.
It is it's a popular werewolf folklore, and it's obviously on Bray Road. I think it's Pennsylvania, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it's just an interesting thing to think about how like even more modern sightings have happened. And you have to wonder what like weird shenanigans like the mind has to play on you to like see something like that and have like a lot of people, or is it even shenanigans that the mind is playing on you?
Who even knows?
Yeah.
But here's a couple of them. They got Fritz Harman, you got Arnold Perlow, you got the Vampire of Dusseldorf,
Mm-hmm.
And the people that they do these
You know what's
horrible
weird?
crimes and they get these names.
I think me personally, honestly, if I'm being for real with myself, I think a werewolf is more likely to exist than a vampire.
See, I would disagree honestly.
I think it's more likely.
What's your
I get the
reasoning?
whole transformation thing is like the most wild out of thing, but like, out of like the, I don't know, the idea of like only eating like blood, I guess is like the more modern version. I know some older versions are like they just kill,
Hmm.
but
And that's what the old ones were from.
Yeah.
Yes, the old original legends. They were more just like eating stuff. That's where the legend becomes.
but yeah, I
That's
just think,
the canon is the legend that changes.
but I think yeah, I just
So I can see that, but I'll raise you one better. What if you are, for all intents and purposes, living a vampiric life? If you were to say find a way to live off like some fluid diet or whatever wouldn't that just be being a vampire, right? If you're like, say, if you could you could have a medically induced version of vampirism. I think is what I was trying to say.
I would maybe consider if you were like you were drinking the blood specifically of other people. I don't know if I would say just.
Does it matter? Does it matter if it truly gives you the power, or if you just believe you have the power?
I think it kind of matters.
Because I was gonna say, there's people that have thought that, and they can like, okay, yeah, if you're talking about like that, then yeah, I get that. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know why. Like my primitive ape brain, it makes more sense to me. I know it's like more ridiculous. I think it is more like ridiculous when you put it on paper, but like to me, it sounds more sane.
I feel like I'm like a broken record, but I feel like it's really not. If you have some guy go around and kill like a bunch of children or do some horrendous crime, and he goes on a spree, and you nickname him the werewolf of somewhere, for all intents and purposes, he might as well be a werewolf, right? Dude, that guy just went around and did all that stuff. That's kind of how it works.
Purpose, yeah, basically. Not like the most literal like fantasy
Not
way
in the
we think
physical,
of it,
exactly.
but like yeah, for all intents and purposes, you
And
are basically.
if time goes by, the legend becomes reality.
Yeah, but
In the yeah,
I gotta
I
ask,
feel like it's so intertwined.
because when I think of cryptids, I don't usually think of aliens. But do you consider aliens cryptid?
I think it's more like you can. If I see an alien out somewhere, I could mistake it for a cryptid, but I think cryptids are supposed to be more of a non of a terrestrial
Well, here's
origin, or
also an
whatever.
interesting thing. I don't know how much you're gonna agree with me, but
Okay.
aliens are 100% real. Not in the sense that we probably think of them,
Yes,
but like they are 100% real.
they gotta be exactly, and they
Because
might
the
not be
universe is
here
just
among
too big.
among us,
Yeah.
but
I hate to get all Among Us lore on us, but like they 100% have to. The universe is way, 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 way too fucking big. You know that like to expect no other life would just be mathematically like you know like it almost impossible. Like mathematically, there
can't
just
remember
has to be at least
what's
something.
some scientist. I remember watching a video on of some scientist, and he was talking about it's like I'm not sure which thought's more frightening: the fact that we could be all alone, or the thought that we're not alone.
Yeah, that is terrifying.
Like, like think about it. Like both of us are absolutely like, dude. If see, and at the same time, I could totally see us being the only things in the universe that are alive.
I
Like,
don't think I
I
can.
ge- I genuinely do believe there's life out there somewhere, probably millions of
I
miles
don't
from
think
here,
there's a
not talking to us,
yeah. I
not
don't
these
think
little
there's gonna
green
be a
men.
life that can like reach to our planet like at least by the time like we're alive. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. Probably not even
That's the
like
great
while my
filter.
last name is still relevant, you know.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, that just makes sense to me that there is aliens out there. But it is I'm pretty. But I can also but also aliens are just like they're just life from another planet. So technically, like a bacteria from like another planet,
yeah.
technically an alien.
It's considered an alien. Yeah,
Yeah,
because like bacteria from another origin would be alien life forms. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So like
That's what I mean by
at least
yeah.
not even consider something like that to me would genuinely be insane. Now the discussion is more interesting when you're like, has alien life visited our planet? And that's where I'm like,
I have absolutely no clue.
uh,
And that's where the cryptid stuff makes you feel. It's like I
mhm.
absolutely believe a lot of these alien sightings that people see UFOs. There's something going on. I don't necessarily believe it's oh yeah, it's little green men in foil suits coming down and talking and probing people,
Yeah.
but it's probably something.
There
Maybe
are
it's a
some
government
accounts
thing.
that do seem more
Maybe it's
realistic
a
than others.
something.
Like it's
Yeah,
more
who
real.
knows? Yeah,
But yeah, at the end of the day, I do think there is. But is there any like life or aliens that have like come to us and we have come in contact with?
Lord
Maybe.
knows.
I don't know if they came to this planet, but I think what was it? I think it's called the Wow clip or something. I don't remember. But there was like
Yo,
a
the audio clip.
yeah, the audio clip where like they were like reaching out
Yes.
and then like there was a spike and then someone wrote wow on it and then like whoa.
From what the research I've gathered, it doesn't seem like there's much. It seems more just like faulty equipment or reading into it more than there is. It doesn't seem
You
like
know
there's
what?
anything
You
coming
know what
from
that
it.
also reminds me of? I don't know if you're familiar with if you are familiar with the blip or the bloop,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the one
yeah.
that was like in the bottom of the ocean. Not the bottom,
Do you
but
want
like
me to
yeah,
burst your bubble again?
what?
It's supposedly what it seems to sound most similar to is glaciers cracking and falling off into the
So
water. Is what
yeah,
it
I've
sounds more
heard that
like.
theory, and then like I've heard like what the not to be like I'm a professional,
Mhm.
but like
Oh yeah,
if you
yeah.
hear like the sounds next to each other, they don't really sound all too similar. Mainly because like that sound has like a it sounds not natural. That's the best way I can put it.
It does sound like that. I'll give you that. I don't think it's supposed to be the sound next to it. I think it's more from a distance, just echoing.
Yeah,
But
it definitely
my
sounds
thought
like it's not
process is
like there's like a clear because with most things like that, like an earthquake or a fucking whatchamacallit, the glacier thing, like a
yeah,
glacier, like there is like a not like a pattern, but what is the fucking way to say it? But like there's a certain rhythm to it, you know, not rhythm, but
there's like a
I'm just gonna say fucking
rhythm or
pattern.
pattern.
Yeah, there's like a
I think
pattern to
pattern's
how they
close to the
sound.
yeah.
When like a animal, say like a blue whale, makes a sound in the ocean, it's more kind of random. There is a pattern
True.
to it, but it also there's an animal won't make the same sound twice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. To
It's
me, it
okay.
sounds like it could be more of an animal. But
I could
the
see
estimate,
how
if it
big
was an
would it
animal,
have to be though.
yeah.
That's what I gotta wonder.
So hold up, there was an estimation. The but yeah, like it was estimated to be at least hold up. I don't have the specific numbers, but there was like an estimation that was like 3 times bigger than like a great. Yeah, it was twice the size. Okay, here I have it pulled up.
Hmm.
Between 77 to 215 meters long
That's
is like the estimated like
pretty
range.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I see. Okay. Yeah. I was trying to do the mental math.
So like at least twice the size of like a blue whale.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just didn't want to sound
That's not as
stupid
big
if I
as I
said
was
it.
thinking.
You
I
know
was
what?
thinking you were gonna say some like crazy ass number, like 5,000 feet
Fine.
long. I'm like, brother,
My
that's the
brother in
diameter
Christ.
of like fucking the universe.
Yeah, but like that one actually seems quite possible because like the bottom of the ocean itself is just fucking crazy. I am
Vast.
terrified
It is
of the
vast.
ocean. I think I'm more terrified of the ocean than I am of space.
Thalassophobia.
Yeah, cause like
He just like me, but for real.
the problem with like the ocean is that you know things are in there, but you just don't know where. And then the problem with space is like, you know, there might be, probably not near us. It's like probably all the way over there. But in the ocean, it's like it could be fucking anywhere.
I always had this fear when I was little, like, what would happen if just like gravity reversed and it pulled you up out into space, just like you're laying in a field, just lift you up.
It lifted
That
you
would
up.
be the most terrifying thing ever.
That reminds me of like when Neil deGrasse Tyson was like explaining what would happen if like the Earth stopped moving.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that,
he's
that
like
thing is
fucking rocketed into space.
cool. Man's about to go zoom in.
That is a terrifying
Angry
thought. 'Cause,
bird.
like, yeah,
Everybody's like
you
angry
could-
birds.
Everybody would be essentially just angry birds. Yeah, they just fucking boom.
I gotta be honest, I don't think it would matter at that point. We'd all be dead.
Yeah,
Everything
you
would be
basically
gone.
would just die.
We wouldn't
instantly.
know. We wouldn't
would-
even know.
You would see like a little effect of like, oh, I'm zooming, I'm moving fast, and then you would hit something really hard and splat,
God, he's just like me for real. Really
Yeah.
hard.
really fast, really quick. But yeah, that's what I think. I think a lot of things. I specifically remember not to get this like the cryptid podcast, but there was
But that's what this episode's turned into.
yeah, there was a research by like Japanese researchers in Antarctica, which is actually another whole entire separate topic I could talk about because I'm strangely passionate about how like Antarctica is like the one place that's off limits for like everyone in the world that everyone just understands. Like you have to be there on a scientific
Yeah.
research or like everyone has to approve of why you're there type of shit. So I think that's super fascinating and super weird that everyone has just agreed to that. But when like Japanese researchers went there, they were in the ocean and they saw these I don't remember the specific name of them, but they were like these whale-like creatures with human hands and like disturbing faces, they said. But the fact that is like not even probably like that's like not unrealistic because who the fuck knows what's specifically over there and in the ocean because there's so much of the ocean that
True.
isn't even like explored.
True. See, yeah, we know more about the surface of the Earth than we know about the bottom of the ocean. Apparently, I was here.
Yeah,
Or just like a crazy fact.
like
I don't know if I would believe that per se, but I do get what you mean. Where it's like
I don't
the thing that
necessarily know
was
if I believe it, but like it's not something that would be out of the realm of possibility.
out of the realm possibility. It's not believable, but it's that thing. I remember I think my favorite thing I ever learned in science. I was a biology textbook, and like the first thing it opened up and it told me was like, it's the one rule of science is you can't prove anything. You can just prove things don't work this exact way.
Yeah,
It's like absence of proof is not proof of absence.
exactly.
Like,
It's
is it just because you don't like most? Like, I love cryptology, but I don't believe in most
yeah,
of the cryptids.
me too. I love it's just a good mental exercise for your brain to kind of like think and
Exactly.
product. Like I like just thinking how these things would exist and like how likely it would be, you know. Most of them are like, you know, not at all, but like just some of them like when
Still fun.
like the blooper, that weird fucking Japanese researcher like thing that they found.
I think
It's a
that
good-
might be the problem people make, and I think I made it too, but where like you just because you like a topic doesn't mean you necessarily believe in it.
Yeah.
Like-
I love this kind of shit. Like I love reading about it. Like I have like I'm currently like waiting on this like Bigfoot book to come in the mail. Just so I can like
Oh, if you
read and,
want
like,
if you want some recommendations, I got a few.
oh yeah.
I think the not to
shoot me with
change
some of
not
them.
not to plow through you with this topic, but the other thing I think people don't realize is that people shouldn't be demonized or
Yeah, there's this weird.
for
Yeah.
believing in something, even if it's stupid.
Yeah,
People are allowed to have different opinions and be wrong.
Yeah, like
Let
it's.
someone else be wrong. Tell them otherwise, but you don't have to like crush someone for thinking that
I think
ghosts or
about like this
poltergeists are
kind of
real.
thing in the same way, people should think about like religion. Like just because you don't agree with someone doesn't mean you should like. They're like the worst fucking person imaginable. You know.
Exactly.
Unless what they're believing is like actually harming someone, then like yeah, like who cares what they believe in? Like
And
that's how I view it.
even then, it's like how much power can someone that's wrong really have? They can have power, true. Don't get me wrong, but it's like don't give them more power. Just if you think someone has a dumb opinion on a scientific fact or
Yeah,
a theory about something, don't roast them for it.
yeah, like
But
don't like
I find
fucking
that's a pretty common, a commonly held sentiment. But like people do it all the time. Like the Bigfoot community loves to just destroy each other.
yeah, like the I one of my
It's like,
things
guys, we're in the woods of Virginia chasing a 10-foot tall guy covered in fur.
like yeah,
I don't think we need to be killing each other over our grammatical syntax or our opinions. Like, come on.
like just because yeah, it is funny how like people in like specifically the Bigfoot like community, I guess you would say, would be like are very hostile towards like certain things,
They
certain
are.
opinions, certain beliefs. It's weirdly fascinating because like I watched an iceberg theory. I watched one of those iceberg videos about it,
Hmm.
and just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Like they hate.
Yeah,
I
I
forget the
know what you
guy's
mean.
name,
Yeah.
but the guy who's with Robert Pat, not Robert. Yeah,
Bob Gimlin,
Robert Pattinson. No, what's fuck?
Robert Patterson, and Bob Gimlin.
Yeah, Bob Ginley. They fucking hate Bob Ginley.
He gets a lot of hate.
Yeah, he gets like so much shit, and like you know what? Fuck it. Like if
I,
you
and it finds me funny because it's like people don't go with the established quote unquote the canon or the
isn't
lore.
wasn't he the one who said it was fake,
No.
or was it someone else?
Okay, this is gonna sound terrible for someone that supposedly likes the topic, but I mix the two of them up all the time.
I think it is
Bob
Ginley.
Gimlin, I'm pretty sure is the one that said it was not fake to his knowledge. Pretty sure it's Robert Pattinson that faked it if anyone did. Let me look it up. Let me do some research.
Hold on, oh yeah, but yeah, for someone who like I'm in fucking yeah Bob Gim or something like that. Yeah. Well, you know what's weird about that tape too? It is in like legal hell. So like the only way to like confirm like certain information like the hair pattern or like to see if there's any like obvious like place where the zipper would be is to like have it like in like upscale 4K. And
The problem is we don't have the originals
yeah,
for
the
that.
problem is we don't
Yeah.
have the original version, and we would if it wasn't like in legal hell because I think it's like his wife, Bob Gimley, and I think it's just those two, or I might be mistaken. But they're like in like battle for who actually owns the thing, you know. So either like we have to wait for like like either one of them to die or like for both. Of
Well,
them
no,
to die.
the original is most likely gone. I believe they have
might
like
be.
the second or third negatives or direct, so they don't have the direct original or whatever. And the people that have the stuff they have, they don't really have any of the real like actual stuff. It's just more copies, more or less,
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes. Yeah, the back and forth people have gone back and forth about all the different things you can see in the thing. But the truth of the matter is, it's all details that are very subjective looking and hard
I
to tell.
think-
You can't really get much information from it.
I think personally, if Bigfoot was like a real thing, if Bigfoot actually existed, then it is most certainly dead. By now, it is most certainly
I
dead
think-
in the most modern age.
That is what I've come to more believe, something along the lines of, because if you and me, James, decide to go live off, say we go off, we're like we're gonna go live in the woods together,
Yeah,
and no one's gonna
the
find
two
us.
of us, no homo.
We could go live out there in the woods. Oh, extra homo. We could go out there and live in the woods probably and hide out there and probably survive with very minimal, if any, human interaction. But it would be hard to do for a long extent of time.
Mhm.
It seems like they're primates or something that are dying out or did die out recently.
Yeah,
Makes the most sense, at least, unfortunately.
that makes a
If
lot
it's
of sense
real.
to me. Yeah, that's how I think about it, to be honest. So like, if it was real, it is most certainly dead, past tense, by now. But I don't know if it actually like ever for real existed. And I feel like maybe if it did, we would see evidence of it by now. But
I wouldn't say it's
Again,
most certainly. I'd say it's more likely.
but most
But again,
certainly also
this
like
is two fans talking as if we're
yeah,
experts. But yeah, you're
but
saying
most also like we haven't even discovered we haven't even like really reached every point in like the Americas. Like the Appalachian Trail is still like pretty
yeah,
wild.
remote.
It's still like pretty like
Alaska
yeah,
exists, Canada exists. Yeah, and honestly, to be honest, I think it's better that way with
the mystery.
everything not being cultivated. No, not just that. I agree with that. But again, that'll go back to what the whole tangent I've been on tonight about like social truth or whatever. Like, yeah, if people think the legend's true, might as well be. But no, but seriously, they're like, it's not just that.
Mhm.
I think it does have to go with the fact that if we were to find all that stuff out and tear apart nature, what would be left?
Exactly. That's a good way. That's a good way to see it. I like that. You know what? I think with that kind of note, I think we can call it a good episode there.
I can agree.
I think yeah. I enjoyed this discussion a lot. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Really happy with it.
I love cryptid stuff.
Dude,
Man.
I love
Stuff's
talking
like my
about this kind
favorite.
of stuff too. You know what? We're the side of cryptid podcast. That's what we are now.
Dude, literally, my YouTube recommendation is Destined to extreme meta videos, true crime, and like this, like cryptids and whatnot.
Yeah. Mine is
Three
mostly
things a
like the
man
video
needs in
games
life.
and like movies, and then like I usually have like my cryptid goes like in and out. So like I'll be on it for like a couple weeks, and then like a couple weeks I'll be off, and then like I'll go really back into it. I'm currently in it too right now
Do you
because
have
you know
any
the Halloween
podcasts you like
season.
for cryptids?
What?
Do you have any podcasts you like in particular? Because I can name it. I can give you
I
a few
don't
if you
actually listen
want.
to podcasts, but I listen to a specific like couple of people on YouTube about them. There's like Wendigoon.
I do
I'm
feel
pretty
that.
sure you've heard of him.
Wendigoon's pretty good. Yeah.
My sister bullies me because she says I look like him. And
At least you look like you get a YouTube following.
yeah, and uh, also I have another channel. Whatchamacallit? There's this guy named
Pokemon.
Armored Skeptic, and he makes
Armored
pretty good
Skeptic's
videos
good.
about like specific ones. Like he made pretty good ones about the Mothman, Bigfoot, and like some other aliens and stuff like that. Like I really do love binging his videos
Yeah.
whenever I get in the itch for it. But what kind of podcast do you like recommend for it?
I was gonna say there's one that's pretty low maintenance. It's a pretty chill podcast, and it's called the Kryptonaut Podcast. And pretty much they just have like 30-minute episodes. It's three dudes, and they just talk about. And that podcast is actually funny to the point where I've tried to listen to going to sleep, and I'd be like crying, laughing in my bed. They'd be like talk because some of the tangents they'd be going on. They'd be talking about like the Octosea or whatever
That's
and
me
shit, and
too.
it'd
Like
have me like crying like not the Octosea, no.
like the main two podcasts that really inspired me to like do this thing. They're both called the Sleepy Cabin and
Yeah, I know that
the
one. Yeah.
Snark Tank podcast. Were like the two ones that like inspired me to do this one. And yeah, I can't listen to either of them because they're funny as hell.
My favorite. I'm a snob with the most things if you can tell. But one thing I'm super snob is about podcasts. It's like I like to hear my podcast. I like to be entertained, but most of the time I don't like it when they make jokes. I really hate it most of the time because I'll be like, listen to something serious, and these guys will be joking and making a fool of themselves, or like,
That's why our
like, dog,
podcast
like,
is the best one.
well,
Because we're
they'll
funny,
feel like
but we
this
also talk
podcast is about
serious.
like true crime, and they'll start making jokes right after talking about someone getting like hurt, and I'm like, bro, like this is probably not the most tasteful thing.
Yeah,
But
that's probably not the most tasteful to like crack a joke about someone's like broken head and when they like died.
well, like yeah, I feel like some of the topics are they're pretty out there, man. Like you do not need to make in the same sentences. You're talking about Madeline McCann and the possibilities of what happened to her. You do not need to make
You know
like
what I should do?
jokes.
You know what I should
Yeah.
do for the thumbnail of this video? I think
What?
I should look for a Bigfoot Among Us and then make the title of the video "He Lives Among Us" and make that the thumbnail.
He do live among
He
us.
lives among us. I might make the video. I might make the thing. He lives among
Which
us.
crewmate would Bigfoot be though?
He would be. He would be specifically.
The brown one, I think.
The brown one, yeah.
What Among Us hat would he wear though? Let's
He
look
would
up the
wear.
Among Us hats.
Hold up. Among because this has to be an in-depth analysis. Among Us hats. I'm trying to think of the ones because
there is hunting Bigfoot in Among Us. There's a video on it apparently.
I'm I'm looking at all of them right now. I think specifically the ones that my eyes are drawn to are the nest one with all the eggs, the little cherry one, and the aviators. Those are the ones that my eyes are specifically
Yeah,
drawn to when I think
yeah.
Bigfoot.
It'd be funny if it's a camera or something.
That would be funny. That would make sense. I'm gonna have to go with the nest one. That's the one I'm gonna go with
Oh, it works. I like the next one.
because he gets that
Most
little fuzzy hair
nature.
on top.
Got a little fuzzball.
Yeah, and he's got his little babies up top. Or well, actually, technically, the Bigfoot that was spotted in the video. Did you know it's a female?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got those big old breasts.
That's the kind of detail that, like, honestly, if you were faking that video, would you think to do that random detail
No,
to make it
I
like
would
a
not
female?
think to make it a female.
Exactly. That is the part that truly broke my mind. I was like,
Yeah,
nobody
like when I
that's
was
genuinely
yeah,
trying
when
to make
someone
fake a
pointed
big
out
thing
to
is
me,
going to be like, because it doesn't even make sense for what we knew of at the time or what we think of now when we think of apes.
yeah,
It
because
doesn't make sense.
it made like when that was like a bunch of things that were pointed out to me, and it blew my fucking mind. Like the whole like how when she steps and she's like walking, you can see the muscle move how like a real human would, like how a real animal would move,
Yeah.
and how like if when she it's gonna sound weird, but when she walks in that video and she turns around to like look at the camera and then she looks
You
back,
can see the way her back and stuff flexes and her legs.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she hits like her boob
Mhm.
in that video, and there's like a
And it
realistic
moves
way
real.
that it moves. It's not like plastic where it just kind of like just kind of like sits
And
there.
have you seen the original Planet of the Apes ever? The original
Yeah.
shit one? That technology for those costumes was cutting edge when that came out, and that hadn't even come out yet.
Hmm.
Not till years after that.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
even
it like
the guy there was
damn.
back in the day they used to have like people who would dress up as animals and they would like
Mm-hmm.
pretend they would be like professional like animal pretenders, or I don't forget the name, but even like
Yeah,
the world's
impersonators,
best one at the time, he looked at that, he said it would be way too hard for it to be moving that fast and to whip its head around that smoothly and back, and for it to not at least fumble or like almost fall
See,
over at a moment.
and then the hard problem is where you can counteract that is, well, we don't know exactly. So the type of camera it was filmed on doesn't have a manual like auto, like this is the frame rate it's filming it. It's
Yeah.
an adjuster, so you scale, you slide it. So we don't know what frame rate it was filmed in.
Yeah.
Depending on the frame rate changes how it looks at different speeds and how accurate it looks.
Yeah.
So at a certain speed, it does look just like a human in a suit. So then you're like, well, it's like fuck, like how can I prove either way? And it just makes it worse. And it's
think
just a
one of
rabbit
the-
hole.
I think one of the most damning piece of evidence, like for someone to like go against it, is when you ask the question, okay, well, what were these people doing out there with a camera in the middle of the woods? And the answer is that they were looking for Bigfoot.
They were to film Bigfoot for
Yeah.
a movie.
They were trying to film a movie, and that immediately when you hear that sets red flags in your mind, where it's like, okay, these people have all the reason in the world to like
and they'd
fake
been out
this.
there looking for Bigfoot for a long time. This was towards the end of it, after I think like
Yeah.
a long time of doing it. They were not in the mood to play around, and they immediately go out there and within 3 weeks find Bigfoot. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty sus. Like
Yeah. But then I also think, if anyone were to find Bigfoot, it would have to be the people who are specifically going out of their way
out
to look
looking
for it.
for.
Yeah.
You'd think
So
those
it
things go
makes-
hand in hand.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're
it is
looking for
kind of
something,
sus, but
you're gonna find it.
it is kind of sus, but like at the same time, if I were to expect anyone to find it, it would be someone who is specifically looking for it. Because even with some like animals, like you have to go out of your way to like find some of them,
See, what I love about this topic is it's one of those topics. Some of the best true crime things are like this, where you're like, you almost can't decide with either way. You're like, one
Yeah,
minute you're
'cause,
literally
like,
feeling one, and you're like,
I'm still currently in
like-
my mind battling it out, like how I feel
and it's
about
like
this.
it's like I can't say, oh yeah, I believe in Bigfoot because that doesn't sound right. I'm like, that's a lie. And then if I say, oh, I don't
because
believe in Bigfoot, I'm
yeah,
like, well,
because
that's
if you
a lie.
say it out loud that you believe Bigfoot, it sounds crazy to yourself, and that's the astonishing part. Is that like some people won't even admit it to themselves.
It's crazy.
But yeah, but I think actually for real this time, I think this is what we'll call our episode.
I do.
It has been a great
Or
time.
how
I've
the-
been having
the
fun.
surrendering
These are
French
good
people say.
times. I love this.
They are good times.
We will be
That's
back again, hopefully again next week. Same time. Oh my god. In the
She's like,
meantime,
"Be for
it
real."
is currently November 7th, which means it is less than 24 hours till Peak Fiction is rained upon us tomorrow.
Which
So,
November 8th.
that is Sonic Frontiers, baby!
Oh, that's right. I thought you were gonna. I thought you were talking about the Destiny 2 weekly reset tomorrow, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm
Oh
excited.
yeah, that is tomorrow too. And there's also a Blood Moon apparently tomorrow.
He is just like me, but for
Oh
real.
god. My goth phase is about to come once more.
Hey
But
yo.
hey, if you liked what you heard today, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends, your family, your loved ones, your hated people, every single one of them. And if you hate this podcast, share it around how much you hate it. Please do it. Tell
For
everyone how
real.
much you hate it, our name, and put the link to it so they can specifically see how much you hate it.
You won't.
Exactly, little bitch. So, that will be
Bad
us. We'll be
words.
signing off. Goodbye.
Oh, dog. When you had said this will be